We can all relate to this, right? Getting really annoyed by something that's buzzing around our heads and looking like we're swatting something invisible and going mad. But if we zoom in, we have fungus gnats. So I think first of all, before we get into fixing the problem, is understanding the problem and understanding what a fungus gnat is. It is indeed a little flying, annoying insect. They only really occur when an organic matter is decaying, rotting, hence the name fungus gnat. They like to feed on this decaying matter. Knowing what they are and how they have arrived here, now let's deal with the problem. First thing you're going to want to do is to allow all of your plants to dry out completely. So I'm talking bare bone, dry out completely. Some advice out there suggests only allowing the top half of your pot of soil to dry out. But I think if you allow everything to dry out, then we're kind of going to tackle the problem on a bigger scale and get rid of it a bit quicker. Whilst your plants are drying out, you can use sticky traps, and they usually come in this yellow color. The reason for that is because these flies are attracted to yellow. When something is decaying in the plant world, it kind of goes this yellowy color. So they attract to yellow because they think this is a decaying matter. They can come in various shapes and sizes. So these traps I have are rather large. They have double-sided stickiness to it, which can cause some problems because once it's on your hands, it's really hard to get off. But they are really good stuff. If you are going to use sticky traps, make sure you get the yellow ones, and you want to place this near the plant that is causing the issues. Sometimes you get sticky traps that stick to the pots, which is great, so stick that on the pot of the plant that's causing the most issues. Or if you get big ones like this, hang them above your plant collection in general. They don't necessarily fly too high away from the soil, so don't have it really high up out of your eyesight. You kind of want it close to the pots of your plants so they actually get attracted to this. So sometimes I get a bamboo stick, I stick this onto the bamboo stick and put that in my plant pot. The yellow sticky traps are effective, they do work. You can see the results quite quickly as all of the flies stick to them. They're also great to indicate if there are any thrips around. They can get stuck to these traps and you can kind of indicate what kind of pest problem you're dealing with. But thrips is for another time. So we've got the sticky traps going now. They are catching some of the perpetrators and killing them this way. We're allowing our plants to dry out completely. Once they have dried out completely, this is where you want to remove the top 2 to 3 inches of the soil. Now fungus gnats, they don't necessarily lay their eggs deep down into the pot. They kind of only go down 2 to 3 inches. Taking off the top 2 to 3 inches, we're just re-ensuring that we are removing fungus gnat eggs from the soil of your houseplant. We are then going to replace this with brand new, fresh, dry soil, or you can use a topper. When I say plant topper, you can use a decorative gravel or grit. You don't want to use big boulders because the flies will still go through, but if you're using more of a gravelly like thing, this is really good. I love using shell on earth, and they're reused whelk shells that have been crushed and repurposed to top dress my plants. I really love this stuff because one, it is really pretty. It smells like the ocean, which I miss, and it also stops the fungus gnats. So I love using shell on earth on here as my top dressing when battling fungus gnats. But you don't have to use this, you can use whatever your personal preference is. So you've allowed your plant to dry out completely. Replace the top 2 to 3 inches of the soil with the decorative stone or just fresh new soil. Now we're going to just let our plant keep drying out for maybe another week. We don't want to water quite yet because we want to make sure the problem is gone completely. And I know some of your plants might start to look a little bit sad from this, but trust me, it is easier to recover a plant from being underwater than overwatered, so your plants can really take this. It's all good, don't worry. When this time has passed, we can now continue our watering schedule and get back on track with watering our plants. continuing to have these fly traps around to catch adults, and hopefully the problem kind of diminishes altogether. A big cause of fungus gnats is overwatering. Overwatering can cause root rot, and having root rot or plants sit in water for a lot of time, it really encourages organic matter to break down, which is where these fungus gnats come into play and become a real annoying infestation in your home. So going back to basics, learning about your plant needs and when to water it. A general rule of thumb here could be that you leave your plants to dry out in between watering, just to make sure nothing is sat in water and you're watering appropriately to avoid fungus gnats in the future. All in all, aren't the worst pest to have in your collection. They are really annoying, yes, but it's not the worst thing. It doesn't cause as much harm as other pests. If you'd like to hear how to deal with the other pests, then I'm more than happy to dive into this further in future videos. If you want to see a video on knowing when to repot your plants, you can check that video out here, and I'll see you there, me lovers. Bye!